Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you see this. This is Dee with Older INFP-A Assertive Insights, and today I'm going to be talking about INFP's two top functions. I like to say the driver and the passenger, and the ESFJ two functions, which would be for INFP would be the FiNe, and for the ESFJ would be the FeSi. So, how I'm going to do this is normal for me, is tell it in a story form, and how the compatibility or incompatibility, and how we could better understand each other. And I don't know if we can, on a more than just superficial level. Now, if you're just joining me, welcome. And what happened was I decided that I want to take the new train. I'm a train hopper. I love to ride trains. I have a travel channel that I started when I was riding trains. I like to ride long distance trains in the United States. And I have done the major ones before COVID. Have not really been on a train more than go down the road since then. But now Amtrak, with the new deal that they came up with, the government, with fixing the roads and transportation, has rerouted what I call the Miami-New York train. They've rerouted it to call it the Floridian, going from Miami to Chicago. Now all the major trains go, just hang in there for a minute, hey, this is the backdrop, all the major trains that go all over the country, they end and begin in Chicago. That is the central hub for Amtrak. So, because people ask, who in the world wants to go to Chicago? Why'd they change it? And I don't really like the idea they changed it, but it's a new train route. It's a long distance train route, takes 24 hours. And I thought, yeah, I want to ride it. I've been to Chicago Union Station at least 6 times. I'm very familiar with it. The Metro Lounge I am. I hang out in the Metro Lounge. I get lost in it in the other places. I will say the Metro Lounge is my favorite part to all my travels on the train. I have not seen the city of Chicago, though, because I've just been there for like a layover to get on another train. So I thought I would take this train and stay in Chicago, and I want to go at Christmas, around Christmas time, the holidays, because I remember as a child, I did that one year. My father, I think I've mentioned this before, if not, I'll tell you. My father is from outside Chicago, relatively speaking. He's from Wisconsin, but it's right on the border. And looking at a map, to me, I call it suburb because, relatively speaking, it is. It's not far. And I only went up there for Christmas, to my recollection, twice in my life, to visit my grandparents at Christmas. But one year, there was a chartered, I don't know if they went every year, but one year we took it when I think I was preschool. I was pretty young, like 5, 6, something like that. I think I was preschool. And we took that charter into Chicago just a shopping day for Christmas. And we did. We spent all day. I probably went on what I call the Magic Mile. I can't remember the name of it, the shopping thing on Michigan Avenue. I call it the Magic Mile. That's my INFP thinking idealization. And I really enjoyed that, and I thought, I'd like to go back again. And I think I'll go at this time of year, and I like the Christmas lights, and it's all decked out, and I'll stay a couple of days. So that's the backdrop. And so I asked my daughter, who loves to shop, and that my ESFJ daughter, who is out there and has helped me, and we do get along, and we go out to lunch once in a while, and we're the one that we have a love-hate relationship. I don't have a love-hate relationship with her. She does with me. She'll argue, and then I say, well, okay, let's get the argument over with, and then we laugh about it, and we go on our business. We really enjoy each other's company, and I think because we are too different. Now, the ESFJ two major functions are FE, which I like, and SI, which I like. And so I thought, well, I'll ask her to go on this trip because she loves to shop. I hate to shop, but she loves to, and she's never been to Chicago, and I would like for my kids to have some interest in that side of my family, which they don't. And they want to be just, all their other relatives are from North Carolina, and I want to expand their horizons and show them part of what the Midwest is like. They've never been to the Midwest. And so she hesitantly says she would go, but I would need to plan it and give her the details. So here I am. Planning and sensory things are not what INFPs are not our strong suit, and what we don't like to do. We think in concepts, we think in the big picture, we idealize everything. That's one reason I wanted to take her, because I knew the big picture stuff. I've been to the train station. I know how to make reservations. I know how to plan trips. It's the details that trip me up. I don't know how to Uber. I don't even have an iPhone. I don't know how to find out restaurants and this, that, and the other, but she would. So I thought we'd be a good match. Turns out not so much. So I spent my energy Googling all this, and I gave her 3 different options for hotels. And, it's kind of like House Hunters. If you watch HGTV, I got 3 different options, and they all cost the same. And which one do you like the best? It's fine with me where we stay. And I told her I'd pay for it, and she wouldn't have to pay for anything but the Uber and food. And I'd pay for the train for both of us. I'd pay for the hotel for both of us. We'd have to have the same room. I'm not paying a separate room. And we get a roomette on the train, which has bunk beds in it, and we get food. And that's like $1,300 each way. That's not cheap. So she was saying, oh, she can't be cooped up in a train for 24 hours. She can't do this. And I'm trying to give her the ins and outs of the train. I feel like I'm a train expert and how it works. And I told her, just in my head it works, because I've been there, and I found out one of the big discontents between an INFP and an ESFJ is that we both rely on the past, but in different ways. INFPs rely on the past and how things worked out in the past to know how to proceed in the future when we do our NE, when we do our new things. And we'll say, well, we see something new, like this is spontaneous, I want to ride the train, and the rest is up to her. Well, the ESFJ, being SI, they rely on the past, and they want to do the past. What they like from the past, they want to do it again. So, in more explicit terms than just I try not to do alphabet soup, is what an INFP will do is they will look at the past, how things worked out, so that they can do different things, preferably at home. Don't go out too much. We go out in our heads, but we look from the past to see what would work close by. ESFJs using SI in their passenger auxiliary function, look to the past to see what works for them to go out into the world. Because they're out into the world, we're in our heads. So what does this mean? What this meant was I knew how it was going to work in a different location, riding the train. I've done it half a dozen times at that station. I know how it's going to work, and it is going to work. We have to make some adjustments, but it's all in my head. I know it. I cannot explain it to her. I could not, which made her very anxious. To her, she knew what she liked in the past. Specifically, I picked out a 3-star hotel, which is not my thing. I like the vintage stuff. She likes the modern. She's got to have concierge service. She has got to have indoor pool, a big gym. We're not there to exercise. We're there to explore. But she has a certain brand. I won't say which one, but she has a certain brand of hotel she stays at, which is a 4-star hotel, and she won't stay at another hotel besides that one. Because at the time I didn't know it, and we got into an argument about it. She told me, and I'll tell you later how all this is working, if this is making any sense at all. But it is how it's different is that to her, what made her calm, and I didn't understand at the time. I did some research today to figure out what went wrong. We're not going together, and I don't know if we're not speaking right now. It just went sideways fast. Couldn't figure out why. Couldn't figure out how to fix it. Was trying to, the INFP mediator, but it did not work. Made her that much more nervous by me trying to calm her down and reassure her. But to her and her SI, she has stayed at this brand of hotel before many times out in the world, so she knows that works for her. Okay, so that's how she uses her past. My past is used, okay, I have all these options. I gave her 3 options for hotels. That blew her away. That's the NE coming out. But I looked from the past to see what would work and what wouldn't work. What amenities work. I looked at location. The hotel, it was all about the hotel. Didn't say anything about the train, and she didn't ask about, do the bathrooms work on the train, which, no, they don't half the time. On long-distance trains, things can happen, but she was concerned about a bug being in a 3-star hotel. Tried to tell her there are bugs and bed bugs and everything, even in 5-star hotels, but not in this one brand that she likes. The brand that I picked, it was just a hotel. I didn't go by brands. It was walkable to everywhere we needed to be, walkable to the train station, walkable to all the shopping. Even found, trying to lighten things up, I even found that they have, near all the shopping, they have a medieval torture museum. So to lighten things up, I said, let's go to that. I threw that out there. That made it worse for her. I do think Chicago has the most museums. They have one on every corner. Seems like they have the most museums. It seems like it's a city that's half New York and half Washington, D.C. From the East Coast. It's kind of a combination. It's a museum shopping city. So it should be kind of interesting. And I threw that in there, and that to lighten it up, and it just made it worse, her anxiety. So yeah. And she told me things that bothered her about our conversation. 2 things mainly was, number 1, I talked too much. That's the INFP. I was being concise. My being concise as an INFP is not concise to the world out there. But yes, we do have to tell a story when we tell things. I gave her options. She didn't like any of them. She had her own. I used up all, that's how she didn't like me. And she said I was stubborn because I wouldn't change my mind and go to her hotel. Her hotel was not convenient. The only thing about her hotel, and I see it now and I didn't see it back then, when you're dealing with the ESFJ, just know they have to have their own way. It's because what feels comfortable to them, their SI, based on past experience out in the real world. She cannot be comfortable in another kind of hotel because the ones she has been in have not had bugs or been dusty or dirty. That's what she said to me. Heaven help her when she comes upon a time when there will be one where there might be a little bit of dust somewhere. Has nothing to do with anything. I wasn't stubborn. I was just trying to explain to her that what I had picked out was walkable and it would save money, not having to have Uber all the time. So anyway, that's how that went. I hope it makes sense of what I said. I think what we need to do, and then I couldn't explain it to her. I was cognizant of the fact, talking to her, that I wasn't putting out there what was in my head, which is common for INFPs. I told her, I said, I have it in my head. It's going to be fine. We're going to do the train fine. We're going to do the train station fine. I've been there. Just trust me. That's all I had to say to her. Because she didn't want me to talk and explain how I know it, anything. And she wanted me to be just black and white concise, which I can't. So if you are an ESFJ, just know that INFPs talk. Trust us. We know what we're doing most of the time. And even if we don't, we go on adventures and we're flexible. So please be flexible. ESFJs tend not to be, and specifically when they're stressed, they double down on their anxiety. And INFPs can be helpful with ESFJs by understanding that out in the world they have to do the same thing over and over. They are comfortable doing the same thing in different locations. We're comfortable doing different things in the same location. So that's the difference in we're NE passengers, they're SI passengers. We have to just be cognizant of that with each other, or just don't invite someone with these two personality types to go out. If you're an INFP, don't ask out an ESFJ. If you're an ESFJ, don't ask out an INFP if you can't be flexible, both of you, or expect a little bit of contention when that happens. Well, if you got any ideas, if any of this resonates, and if you got any ideas of how this could have gone a little bit better, post them below in the comments. I'd love to read your comments. And I just want to put this out there, not that it's a story necessarily about me, it's just how I see the world. But I did notice that there was this big, it was just like a push-pull thing the whole time, to the point that I just said, I'm going to be miserable. I thought about it for several hours, and I thought, based on my past experiences, I have been with somebody on a train trip who I was miserable with for 2 weeks, so I don't want to do that again. And my daughter made almost no bones about the ESFJ, that she even laughed and made the comment, wouldn't it be something if this one trip was the cause of us becoming estranged? Well, I didn't think that was funny. So I didn't think I don't know if she's true or not, and I still kind of want to see that medieval torture museum. But it costs $40, and I'm not going to spend $40 on that. We're cheap. So yeah. So let me know what you think, and until next time, everybody, stay safe.